This is the book of Ephesians, chapter 6. 6. And I'm going to start at verse 10. And it reads, Finally, my brethren, be strong in the Lord Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushai, and in the power of his might. Put on the whole armor of the Most High, that ye may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil. Verse 12, For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. I want to start off by giving all praises, all honor, and all glory to call Loyim La Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Racha, Hodash Brakatham. Double honors to my apostles, the elders of the great millstone who teach and do rule well. Peace and salutations to the Akim across the four corners of the earth, pushing his truth with faith and with sincerity, as well as risking their lives and the freedom to do so now more so than ever. Shalom to the Akim and the Akwat out there listening and learning. Lord, willingly this is edifying. Shalom to the Israelite foreigners scattered abroad in the land of other nations appearing like the other nations, but whom subscribe to this truth. To you I say shalom. It's your brother Yahweh Sop out of the GMS Cleveland Church, a fellow servant, coming at you with another lesson through the Spirit and through the power of Yahweh Shem Shai. And this lesson is in regards to an article that I came across. I believe a brother posted it. Our brothers be through the Spirit giving inspiration for lessons, with the many things, the many acts of wickedness that go on in Babylon the Great, aka the Valley of the Shadow of Death. I was thinking about that scripture because when you take the time to think about what all is promoted in Babylon the Great, aka America, it all leads to spiritual and physical death. You know what I mean? A so-called black man, you Israelites, the life expectancy of you to live to reach 18 to reach 30 is like very low amongst the other nations, because you are targeted, because this devil, this so-called white man, this red Hebrew Edomite, Esau Edom, hates you, but just showing you how wicked this place truly is. You got people that's putting your authority, the people that you people are going to run to when things get terrible out here, because things are uncomfortable and not great. People are mourning and in misery, but we ain't even seen true hell and trouble yet. I was listening to this economist, and he was going into how basically the second round of bailouts, because basically the stimulus was a bailout, to a degree. Although you had, the reason why we're in our current situation as far as the economy is because of the stimuluses. But, basically it's going to be a second round, because the way that this place is going is unsustainable. So, and they created a program. What's that? I can never remember the name of the program, but let me look it up. And this is the program, Bank Term Funding Program. So this is a program that basically the Fed started for these banks and financial institutions to come borrow from, because pretty much all the banks are insolvent. When you go into that word insolvent, is basically they can't afford to pay their bills, and it's going to go to the extreme, because you had certain banks that were failing. I think they said with over the last couple of years, it's like 500 something banks that just failed. The most recent was, I think, Citizen. I was gonna start an account there too. Anyway, with Citizen, but like with the Silicon Valley Bank and all that, they started that program around that time in March of this year, because you had so many banks failing. But then now it's pretty much they can choose who they will let, what banks they're going to let crash and what banks they're going to give funding to. So that's like not prerequisite, but basically it's a telegraphing of, when it comes to the future, everybody's not going to get money. These future stimulus checks aren't going to go to the citizens like that. They're going to go to, these financial institutions. They're going to go to the military and the government, of course. And then you got to remember the credit rating for the America is actually um, being downgraded. I remember when we were at camp, me and a brother, I had seen an article on the Newsbreak app, and I showed him while we were pretty much closing up, and it was showing how much interest America is going to have to pay on the money that is borrowing because they're spending so recklessly, and they can't really even afford to pay back the interest. So again, the system, this current system is going to have to fail inevitably. We don't know exactly when, but all the writing is on the wall. So it says Pentagon officials from Georgia arrested in undercover human trafficking sting. And I know I'm bouncing around, but the point is, just like you got this individual that works for the Pentagon, one of the highest agencies in this country, was involved in wickedness. Well, how much more so are these bankers and you know what I mean? These people that you trust in to provide and protect you. Let me get this real quick. And this is the definition of sexual immorality: the evil ascribed to sexual acts that violate the evil ascribed to sexual acts that violate social conventions, types of evil, immorality, iniquity, wickedness, morally objectable behavior. And, if you're dealing with children, that's morally objectable, And this ain't just the first time, you go into these fucking devils. They into these things, you know what I mean? They into bestiality. They into homosexuality. They into child trafficking, you know what I mean? Because a lot of ancient cultures were into that. What's that? Wisdom of Solomon goes into how Ham was into that. Homosexuality and child sexual, child rape and child sacrifice and all that, And then when you go into it's a book called The Franklin Cover Up. I can't think of the guy's name, but it's based on this school in Nebraska, Franklin something. And it was a FBI agent at the time that basically uncovered a ring where you had these government officials. They had a tunnel up under the school where they were kidnapping the kids. So like I said again, when these people realize that this place is complete wickedness, when people realize that this is truly Babylon the Great, that's when the Lord, the scriptures talk about all eyes shall see Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua returning. He got everybody in blind. Well, Salakia rephrased. He got a lot of, majority of the people in blindness because it's only a select few that can see what's truly going on. But, scriptures say all eyes going to see. So eventually he going to remove, we was just talking about that Sunday at our study. When you got a curtains or shutters, with a shutter you can open up the blinds or you can close them. So just that quick, he can open up your eyes. Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. I'm going to read a little bit of the article. Not very much. I'm just going to bring out the point. Pentagon official from Georgia arrested in undercover human trafficking sting. And then they got all these Jakes. You got Jake mingled in there with Esau. So, just imagine what they was getting paid for it. Because, certain things Jake ain't into. Jake is into or gets into certain shit because he's trying to fit in with Esau. It's always been like that. Jake could be so impoverished, they'll figure that to commit iniquity is the only way to, get up out of the curses and escape their poverty. Selling their soul. Why do you think these rappers, brother just did a video on that. The brother from Men of Valor, the one of the heads over there, what's his name? Atazawam, the elder brother. He just did a video about young NBA young boy saying how he understands that the music industry is wicked. You know what I'm saying? But it's not going to stop him or deter him from staying in it. This ain't happenstance or coincidence. It says 26 arrested in undercover human trafficking sting. An undercover human trafficking sting in Coweta County led to the arrest of 26 people. Among the 26 is a local man identified as a top children's education official with the Pentagon. And that's proven. You don't know if he was literally in there to, recruit or subject. You got to remember the government utilize and do experiments on the people all day. You know, I was just listening to the elder Apostle Tahar, the beloved elder Apostle Tahar. He was going into Jim Jones and how that literally was a government experiment. And I've read that as well, that Jim Jones worked for the CIA, you know, which is basically witchcraft. These people playing double identities. And, you know, when you go into, the higher you go into this system, the more wicked it get. You know, when you go into the Nazis and all that old shit, literally they was doing occult practices as well. You know, they was some of the top scientists of teaming, you know, and that's why literally Russia and America took after, Hitler, you know, and World War II and all that, they took them and split them up. You know, America took, you got the whole Operation Paperclip. You know, they usually been talking about videos, talking about medical misinformation. I wonder what they're going to say about this one. Oh, fuck them. Coweta County, Georgia. A lot of wickedness happens in Georgia, by the way. An undercover human trafficking sting in Coweta County led to the arrest of 26 people, including a local man who has been identified as a top children's education official with the Pentagon. We're gonna expose him like the brother from North Carolina. Say we gotta expose him, show his face. We gotta show his face. According to the military publication Stars and Stripes, 64-year-old Stephen Hovek of Sharpsburg is the chief of staff for Defense Department schools in the United States. So just imagine, just imagine how much indoctrination these children are getting. That's why, like we was talking about this literally recently. Brothers was talking about, like, it's really even no point for homeschooling, because you got to remember they still being indoctrinated, in this system. Even if it's a difference between online school and homeschool. But even with homeschool, you can choose to go that route, but the children still gotta take a test that's basically catered to, how they, this system. So if you don't know certain things based on this system, you won't qualify or you won't pass. So it's really no escaping none of this shit. Call lawyer Mayab Bashim Al Shah. You gonna really see if you chosen or not when the Lord come and fuck this place up. The Coweta County Sheriff's Office charged him with pandering, which is a misdemeanor in Georgia. Deputies say he allegedly solicited sex from an undercover officer in a motel room when the department had set up the 2-day human trafficking operation. During the sting, 26 people were arrested for crimes that include pandering, prostitution, and pimping, according to the deputies. And they'll say that's little and it's misdemeanor. But at the same time, if that was anybody else, I'm sure the charges would be a lot more stiff, more stricter. You got a lot of people that sit up here talking about, they believe Epstein dead, but nobody ever seen a body. Nobody ever seen it. It's like, just like what they was talking about, Bin Laden. Nobody ever seen a body. This is the same people that basically paraded Saddam Hussein around when he was dead. But when it came to Osama bin Laden and Epstein, nobody never seen a body. It made me think of that Transformers movie when remember they said they threw him in the water. They just threw him in the water. The fuck out of here. Yeah. So, nonetheless, that may be a misdemeanor, you know what I'm saying? But, just imagine the wickedness that's not caught up, or they don't get caught up in. What doesn't get exposed. So I'm going to get a few scriptures because it made me think about some. Because these people are vile, base. The scriptures even say that. When you go in the book of Job, it talks about Esau, Edom. This is the book of Job, chapter 30 and verse 7. It talks about, I'm going to start at verse 6. I'm going to start at verse 8, the point, because, when you go into this chapter from verse 1 on down, it's going into Esau, Edom, how they basically were pushed away from men up into them caves. It says to dwell, Job 30 and verse 6, to dwell in the cities of the valleys and caves of the earth and in the rocks. And that's why Esau, Edom loves skyscrapers and he loves tall buildings. The Bible tells you that a building is supposed to have a certain structure. I learned about that because my sister, she was off into design and like interior design. And, when you go into Moab, they're into feng shui. You know what I mean? Feng shui is a house that's supposed to be made a certain kind of way because everything emits energy. That's why, you got these goofy ass people, they dye their hair red and green and all these different colors that emit a vibration. Then they wonder why certain shit is being attracted to them in their life. I believe a house is supposed to go over 3 stories, roughly to that effect, if I'm not mistaken. The Lord told, like even the temple was supposed to be designed a certain specific kind of way. But Esau Edom again, he'll try and build onto the heavens because that's his pride. He's proud. You know what I mean? That's why it's not complicated to figure out who the fuck this man is, the man of sin, because he's already been revealed. This whole war has revealed a lot. These people want to be the victim and the fucking aggressor at the same time. And you got a lot of people literally, seeing who the devil is for real. He's being exposed. The scriptures talk about in Isaiah 47, lifting up the skirts of these people, exposing them, making their leg bare. Do you even know that these devils got, what's that called? The Samson initiative, where if they feel that they were getting overrun by, the armies of the earth or whoever, they have a protocol where they will let off a nuclear bomb. People don't even know that shit, man. Verse 7, among the bushes they brayed, under the nettles they were gathered together, because they lived like animals. It was Jake that cleaned these devils up. And then now they the proudest people on the earth. Made me think about something I was thinking about earlier today. How a person don't be nothing. And when I ain't gonna say nothing, but unconfident. And then when they get their little confidence, it go to their head. Scriptures talk about pride come before the fall. And there's nothing wrong with confidence. Confidence and faith are synonymous. But you got to understand, pride can be mixed up with confidence. Verse 8, they were children of fools, yea, children of base men. They were viler than the earth. Yeah, because they base men, they carnal. And what scripture say? Carnality leads to death, roughly paraphrased. That's why when we come into times where you can't carnally see some shit, what's going to actually have it in your spirit to be able to literally endure? I was just listening to this video at work that the beloved elder Apostle Gabar did about, this life might be some bullshit, but at least we have hope. And when you go into the word hope, it's synonymous with faith. And he basically did a video. It was all through the spirit too, because I needed to hear that. You know what I mean? He was going into this Edomite that basically was talking about how life ain't shit. And he was saying basically how the Edomite could, easily be made a death angel. He said literally when we all, and then he said what really made him go wild was because a lot of people had commented on his video because it was a lot of people that could relate. So if everybody's in mourning right now, just imagine when shit get really worse, that Edomite can be easily turned into a death angel and kill people and kill himself. It's the book of scriptures talk about in Ecclesiasticus to the book of Sirach chapter 10. I'm going to get the point. Verse 2, as a judge of the people is himself, so are his officers, and what manner of man the ruler of the city is, such are all they that dwell therein. So the point is, if wickedness is on, it tells you in the book of Job chapter 9, the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. If the wicked are ruling, then the earth is being ruled in wickedness. And that's why we need, new rulership. I'm going to keep on reading. Verse 4. I'm going to read verse 3. The unwise king destroyeth his people, but through the prudence of them that which are in authority, the city shall be inhabited. So this devil, Esau Edom, the so-called white man, is an unwise king. And that's why, again, these people just steadily spending. They just literally said they lost $3 trillion. If it's 3 billion or 3 trillion, I believe they said 3 trillion. So where the fuck that money go? And then they about to watch motherfuckers just be desperate. Because that's what they do. I remember reading a book. I can't remember what book it was, but basically it was you had America and Russia basically both in Alaska, and America had a little a base, and Russia had a base, and they were It was a distance between them, but they both up there doing something. I can't remember all the details, but I know the setting, which was in Alaska, and I know it was America and Russia. And America came up with some kind of technology. I think it was supersonic technology. So they was emitting a sonic wave over to the Russians to the point where eventually it affected them. That's how they basically developed that technology. This is how wicked even. What the fuck is it? Well, no, I might be mixing it up. Or Russia was doing it to America. I believe it was Russia was doing it to America. And America found out about it and never made the individuals that were being subjected to it aware of it. And that's how they actually was able to backdoor engineer it, if I'm not mistaken. But the point of me bringing it up is just like the Tuskegee experiments, how they sit up there and was injecting Jake with, some shit that they telling them is one thing, but really was a disease. And then you got these stupid ass niggas that would sit up there. You had niggas up there talk about, just willingly going to take that shit. Scriptures talk about who could pity a charmer that's bitten by a serpent, roughly paraphrased. You know you dealing with the devil, so if you get burnt by his ass, well, you think I'm supposed to feel sorry for you? That's in the Bible. Say, who gonna pity a charmer who's bitten by a serpent? Verse 4, the power of the earth is in the hand of the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, and in due time he will set over it one that is profitable. And that's why we waiting on our Lord and Savior, our big brother Yahushua, who we waiting on, our big brother Yahushua Mashiach, who you people ignorantly call Jesus Christ, to come and destroy this place. Because that's the only way for us to get redemption and true righteousness on the planet. It's the book of 1 Corinthians chapter 6. Point is verse 9. Know ye not that the unrighteous shall not inherit the kingdom of the Most High? Be not deceived, neither fornicators, nor idolaters, nor adulterers, nor effeminate, nor abusers of themselves with mankind, nor thieves, nor covetous, nor drunkards, nor revilers, nor extortioners shall inherit the kingdom of the Most High. And when you go into the NLT, it says, don't you realize that those who do wrong will not inherit the kingdom of the Most High? Don't fool yourselves, those who indulge in sexual sin. And I just read, sexual immorality is anything that's objectable. So to the laws or how the Most High set it up. The Most High didn't set up for a man or a grown-ass woman to be dealing with no child. Now don't get me wrong, a child becomes a man or a grown woman, at a certain age, but then that's just a young man or a young woman. The ancient society was so much better when you really take the time to think about it. Like at the age of 20 years old, you would be considered a grown man. I mean, not just considered a grown man, you would literally have shit. You know what I'm saying? As opposed to this society. At 12 or 13, you became a man or a woman, which makes sense. A woman, when she basically, is able to, carry a child, that becomes a woman. That's why you literally wasn't up under the law until you became a grown man or a grown woman. But then you would go into an apprenticeship, you would work for somebody, and you would basically, like how Jacob did, and then you basically would, earn you money enough to go start your own shit. That's why Jacob, after he dealt with Laban, he literally had money to go, he had his wives, he had his money, he had his old cattle, he had his old shit. So at 20, he had the means to go take care of himself and his family, as opposed to this fucked up ass society where you just working to die. You work your whole life to be broken down and fucking just die. And then motherfuckers want to perpetuate this shit though. Oh, stupid ass niggas, man. You'll get into it with a nigga over the dumbest shit, but they'll love Esau for giving them some fucking food stamps and a free roach infested ass, fucked up ass, piece of shit ass house. That's why the Lord need to come judge this place. This is the book of Isaiah chapter 40, Salakia, Isaiah chapter 26 and verse 4. Trust ye in the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua, forever. For in the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua, Yahweh is everlasting strength. For he bringeth down them that dwelleth on high, the lofty city. He layeth it low. And this place is being laid low now. Literally, that's an embarrassment for, a man that works for your federal government. He caught up in some child porn. It wasn't even, they talk about he was soliciting some sex. Nonetheless, if you doing that, then you liable to do anything. That's just like, what's that show, To Catch a Predator? And then they catch the individual and fuck his head up when they catch him. Like, oh, you thought you was coming to see a little girl. Because the thing is this, if you did that time, you've done it a whole bunch more times, you just didn't get caught. He laughing low. They said that shit, it was just like a terrorist bombing in New York yesterday. It's all kind of shit going on, and people don't even know this shit. He layeth it low, even to the ground, he bringeth it even to the dust. Verse 6, the foot shall tread it down, even the feet of the poor and the steps of the needy. The way of the just is uprightness, though most upright does weigh the path of the just. Yea, in the way of judgments, O Lord Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushua, have we waited. For thee, the desire of our souls is to thy name and to the remembrance of thee. So we waiting on the Lord to judge this place, because only in judgment will this wickedness be basically turned back. And then that's when, it's double-edged, because by this devil being taken out of power will put us in power. And that's when the Lord is basically, that's when righteousness is going to flourish through the earth, because, the world is going to be governed by these laws, statutes, and commandments. That's what's going to make it righteous. The scriptures bring life. This man's society don't bring no fucking life. This man has programmed these dumbass people to believe that it's okay for a man to be with a man and a woman to be with a woman. But how can you create life? That's death. Like you had individuals. What's that one chick name? I can't think of that chick. Which literally at one point she was cool with him, but now she offended when, I forgot what happened, but she got offended. Jessica Hilarious or Jess Hilarious or something like that, the comedian chick. And she was like basically how those individuals are considered crazy. She was like, you're mentally ill. But did you know years ago that was literally, if you thought like that, you was considered mentally ill? Verse 9, with my soul have I desired thee in the night, yea, with my spirit within will with my soul have I desired thee in the night, yea, with my spirit within me will I seek thee early, for when thy judgments are in the earth, the inhabitants of the world will learn righteousness. And that's clear cut and straight to the point. It's going to take the Lord to judge this fucking place for these people to get out of wickedness. It tells you literally these people going still at the end, still trying to rebel against the Lord, because the Lord set them up that way. It ain't even the whole mindset of these people literally talking about they want to be what they want to be. And, God made them that way and they want to do this. And, you trying to stop them from being who they are. But yet and still, then why are you trying to indoctrinate our children in it? Because y'all fucking demons. And I hope the Lord fucking destroy y'all. If you're so-called Black, Hispanic, Native American, Seminole Indian, West Indian, or Haitian, thus saith the Bible. If you're so-called Black, Hispanic, Native American, Seminole Indian, West Indian, or Haitian, I implore you to come back to the laws, to the statutes, and to the commandments of your power, whose true name in the Hebrew is Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua, or you will be destroyed. And with that, I want to give all praise, all honor, and all glory to call Loyam La Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua Ba'ashem. Kodash Barakatham. Double honors to my apostles, the elders of the great millstone, who teach and do rule well. Peace and salutations to the Akim across the four corners of the earth, pushing the truth with faith and with sincerity, as well as risking their lives and the freedom to do so now more so than ever. Shalom to the Akim and the Aquath after listening and learning. Lord, willingly, this is edifying. Shalom to the Israelite foreigners scattered abroad in the land of other nations, appearing like the other nations, subscribing to this truth. To you, I say shalom. Till next time I'm able to come with another lesson. Shalom, shalom, and Kwam Yasharallah. Shalom.